Hi, Steve here, stevesuggest.com, and today this is about coffee culture in Thailand. So it's not just all about good food, spicy food and superb beaches and things like that. Thailand has its own coffee culture as well. Coffee's been grown in Thailand for centuries, but it's only started leaving the country by export in the last 100 years or so. The last statistics I found are from 2014, and it lists Thailand as one of the world's top coffee producers, with Thailand ranking third in Asia behind Vietnam and Indonesia. 99% of the production is for the Robusta bean. Thailand's 25th ranked in 2019 for coffee exporting, with 500,000 60 kilogram bags. The first coffee exports were in 1976, and that was the Robusta bean. So Arabica versus Robusta. Arabica is the better quality coffee, which is suitable for barista favourites, meaning the lattes, cappuccinos, americanos and espressos. It's usually grown in the north of Thailand, in provinces of Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. The coffee bean there needs cooler climates to offer the higher quality, or the plant needs that type of climate to offer the higher quality coffee over the Robusta. But there's always an exception, because I've managed to find a coffee farm in Trang that was growing Arabica coffee, and Trang is in southern Thailand. To compensate for the extra heat there, the guy that had set it up was growing the coffee plants under a canopy of vanilla plants, and then above that rubber trees. So sort of like quite an ingenious way of making each part, if you want to call it that, income productive. So the south is where you will find the Robusta plants in areas of Champon, Suratani, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Krabi, Phang Nga and Ranong. Again, exceptions. I managed to find Robusta being grown in Koh Chang when I was on the island of Koh Chang. But Robusta is used mainly in instant coffee products, which is also a Thai export. There's also civet coffee, which is grown in Thailand, and something I've not seen in the northern part of Kanchanaburi on the west of Thailand. The civet coffee is the most expensive in the world, and it's made from the beans of coffee berries that have been eaten by the Asian palm civet that pass through the small cat's digestive system and come out among the feces. So maybe you want to fiddle around and go harvesting those, and I know that I wouldn't, but it wouldn't put me off trying the civet coffee once it's been all cleaned, roasted and processed and everything. So there are farm tours that will take you to a coffee plantation. I'd already visited Chiang Rai once on holiday, and didn't manage to get to see any coffee farms while I was there, so I went back the following year and I chose to take a private tour. The tour I'd been on the year before took in something like 10 different attractions, with 4 or 5 of them being temples, all good temples, but when it came to, you know, the end part, the coffee wasn't actually part of it. There was a tea plantation on that tour. So when I returned to Chiang Rai the following year, I decided to take a private tour. The full day cost me 2,500 baht. Also went beyond a couple of the coffee farms, and went and visited the Hall of Opium Museum, which is another recommended place to go. And if you do go, you will need 2 hours to go through it. The Hall of Opium is partially relevant to coffee, as the Royal Project commenced in 1969, encouraging opium farmers to replace their opium crop with Arabica coffee plants. And there's references made to this within the Hall of Opium, as well as the East India Tea Company, and what else did it deal with there? Just how it sort of like came from China and then came into Thailand that way, and so on. But back to the coffee. The place I went to was the Doi Chang Coffee Company. I went there during December, which was turned out to be a good time to visit because processing plant was being operated and it was in full swing. And there was also a smaller farm that we were able to establish to visit. My visit date was actually the 22nd of December 2017. So whether that's an indication that you need to go in late December to see the processing, but not being a farmer, I'm a city person, maybe it is in relation to, what happened in the growing season, just into what part of December, or whether it maybe starts earlier in November or whether it runs later into January. So but that's how it was for me. And so the guide I had wasn't affiliated with any of the coffee farms, which I thought was good because it allowed me to go there and have a look around as I pleased. It would have been good if I had his details still, because I would have recommended him. He was a good guy. We started off the day in Chiang Rai, and he picked me up from a hotel at around 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly. And I was dropped back at my hotel at around 5:30. So it was a good day, a good longish day. But it was what I wanted to do. I wanted to see the coffee, and it was well worthwhile. And I preferred doing that on my own rather than having somebody else. Or can we stop? I want to go to the toilet. Can we do this? Can we do that? I'm not good with people that behave in that sort of way. I like to be able to, just work it out with the driver myself. If I don't rent a car or motorbike and do it on my own, that's the other way. So in December 2018, I went to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai has its own coffee farms or plantations, which are, not far away. I'd sort of identified one that I thought I was going to be able to go there and go through the experience of being able to roast my own coffee before drinking it. And to get to the actual coffee shop, I had to go to this guest house hotel that I've lost the name of, but it was in the region of the of central Kat Suan Khao in Chiang Mai. When I got there, the coffee shop was packed, which sort of made me think, this is good. Coffee must be good. They got lots of people here. I managed to get to speak to the boss, and she says, well, we only do tours for a minimum of 4 people. And there was another reason during that December why I couldn't go, and it might have been something to do with the stage of the processing they were at or something like that. But that's not going to deter me totally. I will go back to Chiang Mai at a later date once this COVID nonsense is sorted out. And I can assure you that if I do get there, or when I do get there, I'll either update this or do a new blog or video anyway. So the original Thai style coffee, it's still available, and when you buy it on the side of the street, it sometimes comes in a plastic bag with a straw instead of the more familiar plastic cup. No idea how it sits with greenies. I suppose I don't really care, but I'd rather have the plastic cup, as you can at least put it down and place it somewhere, and the bag, you either have to just hold it, and although if you're on your motorbike, you often see people have it on their handlebars between taking it up and sipping and things like that. So it's at the price-wise, it's at the lower end of the spectrum, at around about 20 baht a coffee. The little carts that they sell from line the city sois or streets, and the people making the coffee strain it through a coffee sock or a cotton bag filter. You'll find these stands, as well as on busy streets, parked outside train stations, just anywhere where there's potentially a crowd. They have a different aroma to the other, Arabica style, barista style coffee places, and when you get this, it's generally served with a generous serving of sweetened condensed milk and other syrups and so on that will be used to sweeten it. These ones do seem to be the favourite of Thai people, but if you go to a another, like a, oh god, they got Starbucks, but I don't really want to say Starbucks. But Black Canyon is a popular chain. If you go to them and the other individual coffee shops, you'll often see young people drinking other types of coffees there. So it's maybe it's changing. Maybe they'll stick with the traditional Thai style coffee. It is hot there after all, so drinking iced coffee does make sense. The Thai style coffee, if you haven't had one, don't look at the coffee sock filter thing and go, oh my god, that doesn't look right. I can assure you, well, from the places where I've had iced coffee, it's clean, there's no problem at all, and I have the expectation that if you buy one on the side of the street, it will be from a clean filter and all that as well. So I think it's something that everybody should try, the Thai style coffee, maybe more than once, because they're going to have, maybe between this one and that one may have a heavier hand when it comes to sweetening or the amount of coffee or something like that. So it's going to vary slightly. So if you didn't like the first one, go and have a second one somewhere else. And also then, if you've never been to the north of Thailand, I'd recommend going there. They've, apart from being close to where the coffee is grown, there's some great little coffee shops there that really nicely themed and things like that. So if you don't like coffee, the only thing I can say to you is, what's wrong with you? So that'll do for me. So I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for getting to this point, and we'll catch you again another time. Thanks. Bye for now.